after her first trip to India. For the last few years, she has been fully dedicated to the research of different mindfulness and compassion programs in the world and its dissemination through books, courses, and the All One International Conference. Between February and April 2019, she went around the world connecting with some of the most inspiring and innovative international mindfulness and compassion educational projects, making 7 stops in 7 cities: Lima, San Francisco, Tokyo, Sydney, Delhi, Jerusalem, and Cape Town, and in 7 chakras: Lake Titicaca, Mount Shasta, Fuji, Uluru, Kailash, Mount Olive, and Table Mountain, gathering the most current science and the most ancient wisdom. So please welcome Paloma.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Thank you, Angela, for the invitation, and thank you, all of you. So I'm very happy to be here sharing this beautiful journey. And what I'm going to be sharing today is not the documentary film, what Angela asked me, because it's not yet finished, but I will give you some glimpse of what was the trip and the idea. So I'm going to share the presentation. I'm going to try to share. Let's see. It's okay now? You can see everything, right? Yeah. Okay, compassion. We are going to talk about compassion. Hello, welcome. About compassion and what is compassion, what is compassion, connection. So I started all this with this book, Mindfulness para Niños, because I was working in a company for many years, in garments company, and I was traveling mainly in Southeast Asia. And I realized that it depends so much where you are born. It depends so much where the family where you are born, the country. And I felt I had so much to do, not in garments, but to put my life into the service to help other places. So I left the company, family company, and I started with a small company in Thailand and in Philippines. I went bankrupt, but I tried. And I had started writing. When you were talking about writing, this morning there were few people talking about the importance of writing. For me, it was like super healthy and to realize about our way, our lives, our signals that sometimes we are not able to see until we sit down and we reflect. So I made a book telling like my story, how it was like 7 chakras and how the chakras were outside in the planet and how the chakras are inside each of us and how we are changing in our lives. So once I had this book, I went to Planeta and they told me, no, we need this book. We need a book about mindfulness for children. So I started to research about what was in the planet about mindfulness for children. It was 2014, it was just starting mindfulness. I was just talking now with Juan, in Zaragoza, in our city, we have so much now, but in 2014, it was like something strange. So I started with this book, and when I published this book, I didn't know how to do it because I had clear that it had to be for the adults, not for the children. We are the responsible to create this space of safety places. We are talking also this morning so much now about how do we feel. Even if you are quiet in the last corner there, we are creating the space. We are creating a space, a loving space. We are feeling safe. We are feeling care, or we are feeling frightened. Just arrived and she told me, I'm from Vietnam. I said, Vietnam, I love Vietnam. So suddenly we have already a big link, When you have a link, everything changes. With Angela, it was the same, We had a link, clack, So it's easy. Now I met Juan, suddenly link, it changed the atmosphere. So I feel safe, I feel well, everything changed. So what can we do for the children to feel safe, to feel in a place where they can flourish? Because they just need a space to flourish. So I created this house, okay? And I made like 4 windows. And the idea was like to create like different windows. One was like the tidy, you say, tidy to have the the beauty, to have the emotions, how to deal with emotions and the thoughts and everything, and the breathing, the power of breathing. But the door, the main door, was the heart. So what was the message? It's just to keep connected with your heart. Okay, and the home, our home is our body. The idea is our home is, my home is my body. So I take care of my home inside of my invisible home, my invisible world. I take care of my invisible world, but I take also of my home now, which is this area, but also about this city, about the planet. So if I really feel my home is this planet, I'm going to take care of you. I'm going to take care of the trees. I'm going to take care because it's me. You know, it's okay. So I had gone, because I started working also with Mind and Life Europe. I had gone to, for me, Dalai Lama has been always like, no, every time I went to see him, it was like a big message. And it was in 2014 or 16, I don't remember, 16. I went to a Power and Care conference in Brussels. And it was really the last message, no? He was like, you know, when you are in a big conference where so many people and suddenly it seems they are talking to you, no? Precisely because I was like, where to put my energy? And he said, please, education, go for education, no? It's so important, education. And the media, whatever you can do, it doesn't matter if you are not journalists, it doesn't matter if you are not famous, it doesn't matter wherever you are, wherever you have, do it. The world needs you right now, do it. So I felt this message. Yes, and I always felt that we have, each of us, we have to be brave and follow our hearts and to put in the service of life. So I went. So for the compassion, I just wanted to share a video I love from Karen Armstrong. I know, I don't know if you know it. It's okay now or not? I can zoom. How? 1 second only, because I don't know how to. So, okay. Nobody's coming. Like this, you can see big or not? No. But you cannot hear, no? You cannot listen?
Treated ourselves.
Okay, we'll start again.
Compassion compels us to work tirelessly to alleviate the suffering of our fellow creatures.
To dethrone ourselves from the center of our world and put another there.
To honor the inviolable sanctity of every single human being.
Treating everybody without exception.
With absolute justice, equity, and respect.
It is also necessary in both public and private life.
To refrain consistently and empathically from inflicting pain.
To act or speak violently out of spite, chauvinism, or self-interest.
To impoverish, exploit, or deny basic rights to anybody.
And to incite hatred by denigrating others, even our enemies.
Is a denial of our common humanity.
We acknowledge that we have failed to live compassionately.
And that some have even increased the sum of human misery in the name of religion.
We therefore call upon all men and women
To restore compassion.
To the center of morality and religion.
To return to the ancient principle
That any interpretation of scripture
that breeds violence,
hatred
or disdain
is illegitimate.
To ensure that youth are given accurate and respectful information
about other traditions, religions, and cultures.
To encourage a positive appreciation of cultural
and religious diversity.
to cultivate
and informed empathy with the suffering of all human beings,
even those
regarded as enemies.
We urgently need to make compassion a clear, luminous, and dynamic force in our polarized world.
Rooted in a principled determination to transcend selfishness.
Compassion can break down political, dogmatic, ideological, and religious boundaries.
Born of our deep interdependence, compassion is essential for human relationships and to a fulfilled humanity.
It is the path to enlightenment and indispensable in the creation of a just economy and a peaceful global community.
I love that. Sorry. I love that presentation because it's like very powerful, about the connection there. So in 2000, after writing this book, I started with some people in Zaragoza with Wake Up Schools program and other educational projects. But in 2017, with a good friend from Vietnam, another friend from Zaragoza, we created all one project, which is a foundation with three main steps. No, the first one is attention. We have to realize where we are, what we are doing. If we don't realize, we are just doing. By doing, we are not alive. No, but the first thing is to realize, to do mindfulness. No, to realize. The second one is to meditate, to take time, to take silence, to create a space of reflection. And the third one is the action, compassion in action. So we created some, you can check later, I will give you the website, because we have beautiful conferences we did in 2017 and in 2019, and this year we did it through Zoom. But the idea is to share, because there is so much already, so much. We don't need to go to universities to make certificates to be compassionate. It's in all our hearts. It's everywhere. The only thing is that we don't have the spaces to flourish, because since we are starting the schools and we again and again, the protection, we start to protect, to pretend I am someone, to fix there, to fix that. But no, we are all human, beautiful beings, unique, absolutely unique, diverse. And the beauty is to be able to be ourselves and to do whatever we have come to do here in this life. So a very good friend of mine from Thailand, he did this beautiful hummingbird with a sun. No, it's like everyone, with every thought, with every word, with every action, we are creating a change inside and outside. So what kind of drops you are taking with you? No? What kind of? And then I started this. I had this dream always to take whatever it's already existing. No, because sometimes when we are in a small place, it seems it's like very, this one, the master, and you realize that you get out and there is so many people around in the world doing beautiful things, and sometimes we don't even know about them. So the idea was to create a runner of the world, contemplating all the countries, all the cultures, all the links between us, with also the chakras, in the earth, because it was like a chant also for the earth. The earth, it's calling us desperately. The earth is calling us. It's our Mother Earth. So it was also like going, visiting, and I don't know how to say, praying, or it depends on the tradition on each one, but I don't want you to close or to fix. But it was like to give honor life, to honor each of these places. All these places are sacred places, totally ancestral wisdom. So I did the crowdfunding, and I had everything to go with 2 guys to film, and we did a crowdfunding of 30,000 euros, and we got 2,400. So I said, okay, finally I took my mobile and I went alone with my mobile. And it was incredible. These are the chakras. So I just passed a little bit one by one. It was, when I tell you it was incredible, it was incredible. When I surrounded to the experience and life, everything started to come. It was coming. I was just in the present moment, and everything was coming. So I started in Peru with Mindfulness Peru. These beautiful ladies, you cannot imagine how they are, and the beautiful team they have done in Lima. They are also working with the Queros, with the most ancestral wisdom in the Peru, in the Valle Sagrado. Okay, this is from, I went to San Francisco in United States, and I was with a guy I had met by Facebook. It was everything like that, sometimes like that. He just wrote me when I was in Wisdom in a conference in San Francisco. He told me, I have seen you are doing this trip. I have a beautiful project. Do you want to come to visit? And I said, yes, sure. 3 days before, and I want to visit him. I will put you a little bit like a small, this is JT. At least you can get.
I was a classroom teacher for about 8 years in Richmond, where we are right now, in a community that has the most amazing and resilient kids and families, but has a lot of trauma a lot of suffering, and it's been going on for some generations. And so while being a teacher, I always try to give as much as I could and serve the kids and community as much as I could. So at a certain point, I think over the years, I just burned out. I lost my wellness, both physical, mental, emotional, and that led me to having a pretty big bout of a journey of anxiety and depression in 2011, in June to November, December, that led me to missing classroom and missing students and really not being able to sleep, not being able to function, really in a place that was pretty scary internally, which kind of brought me to trying to figure out how can I come back. The heartfelt refuge, this sanctuary of being able to be present within our own being, whatever experience arises, is something that.
Okay, with other video?
No,
only this.
not video.
Okay. Because when we cut this,
Okay, sorry about the technical, but it's like this life. So this guy was super nice. His experience, his personal experience, now it's incredible. If you go through his project, it's incredible what he's doing for so many kids in Richmond. Richmond is the worst area in San Francisco. Maybe you can find 20 nationalities in each class. And I had the blessed to go with them. I was not able to film, but then he told me, I'm going to pass to put you another video. He told me, no need to film. Just a few months ago, there was a French girl, and I just tried for her to come, but finally she couldn't come. His name is Helen Walter, and they have made a film already. It's May I Be Happy. Do you know May I Be Happy? Maybe I can play the trailer only for you to know. So I have to do, Angela, now I pray here. Okay. Now, one second,
when you
I go.
share.
Espera. Ah, no, it's not.
Maybe on your computer.
No, I don't see. Ah, no, okay. Now it's okay? Can you listen? Can you listen now? Can you listen? No.
World with, and if they leave themselves, if they betray themselves, then the world doesn't get them.
What time is it?
Mindfulness is knowing what you're doing in the present, knowing what you're doing in the moment, and just knowing yourself.
As youth, we learned that there's certain things that are okay to feel and other things we're not supposed to feel.
I was so sad, but I was just so afraid they were going to call me a crybaby.
We should be sending the message to youth that feelings and emotions are all okay.
We just don't learn in our culture how to be with ourselves. Anything that's uncomfortable is illegal.
Tell me what you need. Do you need steadying? Do you need calming down? Do you need waking up? Do you need silent meditation?
I absolutely think it's my moral obligation to take care of the whole child. We're seeing so many students who cannot focus on school, who can't attend to their learning here, because what's going on here is so big for them and they don't have any strategies or any tools.
Are at risk and homeless youth. They're dealing with often and without tools for learning how to regulate our minds, we reach for whatever's available. Corner store, you got alcohol cigarettes. You know, on the corner of the neighborhood, you got a drug dealer. So unless we offer these youth tools so that they can manage the difficult emotions.
I heard about mindfulness. Meditation to me was something weird, mystical. I didn't really know what it was. Mindfulness gives us the opportunity to say, what if I respond with compassion? What if I start to care about my pain rather than hate it? What if I respond with non-attachment?
Any positivity generated here today, may it be given away to our friends, to our families, to our neighborhoods.
Check it out. Check in. It's true.
If you have not seen what's the film, I recommend it. It's super, super beautiful. And this guy, they had already developed like different animals. So when you were in the schools with the children, they were who's coming today? Who's coming today? Because they related each animal with emotion or with something. And you cannot imagine in 20 minutes of class what they were able to do and what they were able to create in the classroom. Super, super beautiful. They had also used the music, because in that part of Richmond is a lot of, you know, like rap, like all these things. And they took the music, the melody with mindfulness or compassion, all we are feeling. And you could see all the kids from that, connecting with their bodies, which is super important, no? The connection with our body and expressing what was going through them, no? Beautiful. Okay, this was in San Francisco. Also in San Francisco, it was the conference, which also I recommend you, is Wisdom 2.0. They had everything in YouTube and they are beautiful, beautiful conferences. Beautiful. This everything on free. I was also with Atentamente Mexico with David Presti. David Presti is a beautiful, beautiful man. You can see in his face. It's incredible. I met him thanks to the other one, to Peter Samis, who I met by chance having a coffee in a coffee shop in Berkeley. Everything was like that, no? And David Presti used to go to Tibet to teach neuroscience to the monks. He's an incredible, incredible wisdom, human being, incredible. In Tokyo, I'm just passing a little bit to show you, know. For example, in Australia, I was with Grow Your Mind, and this lady, Sally Spill, they had started. I'm telling you all this because sometimes it looks like what I'm going to do myself, no? All these people, they have started by themselves. Alice Peel, she started with another teacher in her school, and they started with a project mainly for mental health. But they did so beautiful because they did like also, again, like our brain with animals, so simple, so beautiful. So you can understand. I'm going to play also a small video where she's explaining about our brain. You can see so simple how they do.
We make this really interesting. So thought, let's create animal helpers that represent the key parts of the brain. So I'm going to introduce you to some now. I have a little bag, and we always start our lessons with who here's brushed their teeth, who here has had an apple, who here's had a glass of water. Great. Why did you do those things? And children will be able to tell you, and teenagers and adults hopefully too, I did it to make my physical body stronger. And then you say, well, what about your mind? What have you done for your mind today? And this is what taking care of your mind looks like. You start to understand and be able to label it. And then we might say, touch your toes, touch your prefrontal cortex. What? And so then we come up with a story. So did you know that right now in your brain, you've got these animals and they're hanging out there? Would you like to meet them? So the first animal is very helpful when we're at school. The first animal is your wise owl. And your wise owl is really great at making good decisions. And your wise owl is fantastic at being a flexible friend and higher order thinking. And your wise owl has a really fancy brain name, and that's the prefrontal cortex. So your wise owl is great. We really like our wise owl to be on and to be ready for us. Now the next animal is the guard dog. And the guard dog is great at keeping us safe at all costs. It can let us fight or freeze or flee. It can get a little bossy sometimes, and it can get very bossy when we feel a bit stressed and some uncomfortable emotions. And our guard dog has a fancy brain there too. And our guard dog's fancy brain name is the amygdala. And it's nice when the amygdala looks like this. And the guard dog is nice and small, then they can have a bit of a conversation, your wise owl and your guard dog. And then we have another animal helper who's really great at remembering things. It's your elephant who tries so hard to remember. And your elephant is great at taking memories in and enabling you to learn new information too, especially if you get a good night's sleep. Your elephant is on fire. And your elephant is called the hippocampus. That's its fancy brain name. So these guys all are hanging out together. Your elephant, your wise owl, and your guard dog. And then, who here has been taught to focus or told to focus? Pay attention. And I've been told many times. It's a really important step of learning how to pay attention. It's quite tricky. This animal helper is amazing. This animal helper is the sifting sooty. And the sifting sooty has the most incredible focus. In real life, this sooty shearwater gets up every morning and flies for 500 kilometers a day. So if it loses focus, it doesn't make its engine. So it's focused all the time. It's like a tightrope walker. You can just put one foot in front of the other. And the fancy brain name, the sifting sooty, is the reticular activating system. We like to call the rats. So they're all hanging out and they all get on really well when we're nice and calm, when we're in the moment. But the thing is, our brains sometimes get it a bit wrong, especially when we get busy, we've got lots on. And what can happen is our guard dog reacts to a stressful event, like having a fight with a friend or making a mistake, as if there's a lion in there. And when that happens, our guard dog goes from looking like this sweet little dog to looking massive. And there's a click called just breathe. And it's about this idea that you get a bit of an amygdala hijack. And when that's happening, your brain looks a bit like this, and your guard dog comes in and goes, I don't need to make a good decision. I don't need to focus. I don't need to remember anything. I got this sorted. It's really loud there, and no one can hear each other think. It's really hard to make a good decision. It's hard to be a flexible friend. It's hard to focus. It's hard to remember things because right now your amygdala's got very big and very bossy. And so once children understand the basics of neuroscience, you start to understand the basics of why we breathe really deeply, why we eat our food mindfully, why we might practice gratitude, all these things that keep our animal helpers nice and healthy and flourishing.
This is the one of the parts, no, but the idea is that so many people already have developed so beautiful ways, no, to show how it works. Then in Australia, and then in India, I went to the Sea Learning launch. It was I don't know if you are in touch with the Sea Learning, yes. And Israel, I was with Ricardo Taras, who is a beautiful, I'm going to pass because if not, we are not going to have. And Ciudad del Cabo. These are all the families I was with. And okay, and then once I had finished the trip, I wanted to share. I wanted to make the documentary film, the emotional, the tools, and the book. And what I realized is that there are two most important things. The two most important things is that our bodies, the best sensor, you say in English, the best sensor we have. Okay, we are putting bracelets, we are making so many things, but we are disconnected from our own bodies. So that's the main thing, to be connected. And the second one is the breath, our breathing is our best instrument, the best instrument. So these are the two best things. So I started to do with this, the kind of drawings, okay, and playing also with the Paul Gilbert emotional systems, which are here, okay, the emotional, to understand, since they are children, to play, how do you feel inside? And even with adults, I'm doing in companies or with places like that. And it's so easy when you express yourself, not only talking, but painting how you feel in your body, how color you feel. And then I said, okay, how to put everything in order. So I said, let's do like that. I use the same illustrations in the book. Okay, and what are we doing every day? How do we get up in the morning? How we spend the day? What do we do to nourish ourselves every day, every single day? Not the weekend, not this holiday, but every day. So the power of the habits, no? What kind of habits do we have? When we start a class, or when we start a dinner, when we start day, what kind of rituals do I follow? And of course, it has not to be rituals forever. I mean, if it's okay for us, if it's good, okay. But sometimes we have changed so much, so we can change our way to live also. So then I put every message, like 7 messages from OM. So this would be like a nice, simple, funny for kids way to transmit this kind of habits, no? So since you get up, from the time you get up in the morning, how do you get up in the morning until you get to bed? So the first one would be smile. The first message from OM, smile in the morning when you get up, okay? And I invite you, even if it's not time to get up, but I invite you to sleep for a while, to close your eyes, okay? And just to relax. And let's imagine we are going to get up in the morning. We can, no, and we can do it. We have been here for so long time. Do it, express, leave your body, Okay, so before we get up, okay, we are in bed and we can take, instead of saying, come on, get up, come on, or with the alarm clock, come on, and start running, we can get up in the morning like, hello, but I can do it myself also. Hello, and put my hand in my heart. This is an exercise from Mantak Chia. It's called the sonrisa interior, inside the smile. I don't know how to say in English, inside the smile, something like that will be. So it's like, I put my hand in my heart and I draw a smile in my heart. Children love them. The children love this. I love it. I mean, it's because you draw and you feel this smile in your heart. And then you go with a smile to all your body, to your feet, to your legs, to your stomach, to your arms, to your face. You are like, you can even draw like a sun and start feeling like suns all your body. And when you feel shiny, bright, smiling, calm, well, then you start opening and starting the day, from there. And what big difference make when you get up in the morning? Well, because every night is different, and even if we don't realize what kind of dreams we have, we are all the time dreaming at night. So to make this a small exercise in the morning, like this is one example. Thank you. Message 2, taking care. I take care of my house, of my home. I take care of my home. My home is my body. Okay, everyone, no? You have to brush your teeth. You have to wash your hair. You have to. But what about my invisible world? Who is teaching me how to take care of my invisible world? So precious, invisible world is so precious. And when we are children, we have all channels open. The big, big power of imaginations. We are human beings, beautiful human beings, creators, imaginative. So we have to co-create together a new way of life. So let's open again all the channels. Let's imagine, and let's leave this home big and let's do it. The message 3: observe, to teach and to learn how to observe. We are not on the doing, but observe without judgment, observe with curiosity, like explorers, like explorers in life. We are here just a limited time. We are going, in a few years, no one here will be here. So let's take our time alive here to do and to be. Observe the breathing, the breath, how to breathe, how breathing can change totally our lives. For the children, it's incredible how they realize, since they are small. I have done workshops, very, very small. And it's like, how is your ocean? It's like, and you put just a small, okay, let's make a small boat in your stomach, in your abdomen. Now you breathe, and how do you feel now? It's just so simple like that. But if they see that we as adults, we are not able to even to realize that we are with this torment inside, they are not going to learn. Okay, cultivate. I don't know if it's the correct word, cultivate in English, or we should use another one. What kind of gardens do we want to have in our life? Inside, what kind of garden I want to cultivate inside and outside? So what I am doing every day, I'm putting the seeds for this or not? I'm watering this or not? And then at the end of the day, to make your ritual also, to make the day, how was your day? And to thanks, to give thanks always, to live with this gratitude, open heart and gratitude. And in the center of everyone is love. Love, and starting by loving who you are. Love who you are, love as it is. Because the suffering is coming always because, oh, I would love that my presentation is like that because I don't know how to work this, but it's like that. I love it as it is. Thank you so much. I would love that this one is we are all the time suffering because it's not as we think, or it's not as, love it. You realize how it is and then we'll change. So this would be the center. And just if you want to use them for kids, it's everything available in the websites in all one project. And you have also like the papers to download the figures to paint and to express for kids. It's super beautiful because they can do the mandalas, or they can, with the colors, with the words, to paint what they are grateful or what they make them a smile or whatever. So this one is there. And there is a video, there is a meditation on each of the message. It's everything free on the websites. And let's I translate the words like that from Spanish to English. Let's put the peace, courage, compassion everywhere. To end, before we start with the questions or whatever, I want to share with you the last video. There is a thing I do since 8 years ago in Zaragoza, in my city. We have the big walls. And I don't know if you are familiar with Candy Chan. It's a beautiful artist. She started with a project which is called Before I Die, because she lost a good friend, and she realized that they didn't know each other in the neighbor. So she put a big wall and she wrote, "Before I die," and the next day it was full of persons sharing, So I did this in Zaragoza, and since then I started doing every year. And this was the last one because after COVID, we were not able to do anymore. But this is about this story about irradiating. So I will share this one. Okay, it's. Thank you. So, yeah, thank you very much. And this is the message, that everyone, each of us, we are all the time irradiated. So let's make, and there is a sentence I was trying to find, but I didn't find, from Varela, which is beautiful. Francisco Varela created with Dalai Lama, Mind Life, and it was like, the world is not my perception. It's not what I think it is. It's not yours. It's what we do together. It's the dance between all of us. So now we are living in difficult times, or different times, or whatever we can say, the adjective. But let's dance together and from this. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, Paloma, pour ton itinéraire très particulier. Ton projet, c'est vraiment extraordinaire. Et donc, on a le temps pour peut-être 1 voire 2 questions dans la salle, parce qu'on a dépassé notre temps du programme, mais vous pouvez quand même poser une question ou 2.
Thank you. It was very interesting. I have a question for you and maybe all the room. I was wondering, all this anxiety that we can see in our days, do you think it's the pressure and the structure of the society that evolves that makes our mental health more difficult, rather than like a century ago, or maybe we just didn't talk about it a century ago? Like, what do you think it's the impact of the society on the mental health?
It's too much. There is so much information and so much connection everywhere. It's now, it should be something compulsory to take your time for yourself, to be disconnected from all machines and to go for nature, to go outside, to go to breathe, or to be a little, it's too much. It's normal that we are totally, and then the time we have lived with all the fears and all the pandemic, it has been all even worse. And it's very, that's why it's not it's something that it can change like a pill. What is the problem? The other day, very good, I have two girls, one 17 and one 19. The other day, there was a friend of her, of the smallest one, that she was with problems in the stomach. And I told her, have you had emotional problems? And she said, well, it's 3 years or more that I have depression. I said, what? She's 17 only. Depression and anxiety. And now you talk with the children, even 12, and many children are taking pills for years. This is not the way. I mean, we have to teach and we have to learn how to live with what is in life, not to go through. Okay, one pill can save sometimes, or it can be good, but not to take the fast way. We have to learn to live, no? So this should be compulsory. I mean, compulsory. This is what we have inside. It's we have the best medicine inside ourselves, within us. We have the best medicine. This guy, I put you the one from Berkeley, David Presti. This man, he looks like a duende or something. This guy has been researching so much about the placebo and nocebo effect. So much. And you can check through there, also through internet.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, thank you for your presentation. It was very interesting. I have a question about the students who participated in the initiatives in California. I was wondering if you know whether they have any sort of tools or any support to sort of bring the mindfulness practices home. As you mentioned, maybe some of them come from difficult family situations.
Yeah.
And I can imagine it's nice to have those practices at school, but it's like trying to go vegetarian, but your parents only eat chicken, you know? If they can't take those things home or convince their family to maybe adopt some of those practices, or even just give them the space to adopt those practices without ridicule or pushback, it can be really difficult for them to have the positive effects that they're looking for. So do you know if they have any tools or any kind of help?
They have.
doing that?
You are totally right. I mean, we are the society, okay, but then we are the parents and the educational systems or teachers or whatever, and the children. We have to go together. The thing is that sometimes it's a miracle that, you know, sometimes the situations are so difficult for adults, so difficult just to survive every day. It's like a miracle. So you don't make the time. So at least it's to start with the children that they know since they are children. But they have, even with mobiles, they have developed like different tools, super easy, like the anchor of breathing or no. And the idea is to create these spaces. They are doing also with parents, but the problem, and I'm telling you also because in Zaragoza, in my city where I live, I have good friends also dealing with different associations. And the problem is to find the space and the time. This is the solution, of course. I mean, the solution, the way not to go to everyone, but sometimes it's people, they don't have even half an hour because they are working full day. They are going home, they are running, and it's difficult to get the space, the safe space, what we were talking at the time. Yes, but this should be like that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to say something about your journey, because you tu as rencontré des gens, je passe au français pour l'instant, tu as rencontré des personnes, par exemple au Pérou, et aussi tu es sensible aux cultures ancestrales. Donc, ce qui fait que cette approche de la pleine conscience, de la mindfulness, est aussi dans une optique décoloniale, c'est-à-dire nous avons du respect vers les savoirs ancestraux, mais aussi vers la science actuelle. Et donc, c'est un dialogue entre les cultures et pas une culture qui est au-dessus de l'autre. This is also the spirit of Mind and Life, because in the respect of Indian tradition, but also African tradition, American, Native American tradition.
It's like that. It's like that, and the idea to go to the chakras, it was because of that, because it is the most ancestral wisdom. And what is the point that sometimes when you were going to these places, for example, in Uluru, which is an incredible place, you know, the big mountain, the Red Mountain in Australia, they were telling you, okay, you cannot take pictures from this side because it's sacred. It's special, and it's their spirituality, and it's totally forbidden to take pictures. And everyone was taking pictures. So, and also in many places, instead of following and respecting and honoring, it's like the wall of Instagram and checking how many pictures you can do. But of course, there is been a change on this. Call it, I don't know, it's like the chamans, no? Before, you could find now everyone is shaman, or the same with ayahuasca. I finished this trip, I finished with a shaman from Peru in South Africa, this trip. Really, and incredible. It was in Jeffreys Bay. This man is a surfer, but he's also teaching everything, and he has had an incredible life. And it's everything very much linked, and it's everything again connected. I don't know if you have seen the Fantastic Fungi, the documentary film. Have you watched it? Fantastic Fungi? You have to watch it. It's about the fungi, about the interconnection under the earth. It's so beautiful. So it's everything is the same. I can imagine it's everything the same up. No, it's like, so all the shamans, all the ancestral cultures, they already know since centuries ago about the breathing, about the plants, about our spirit, about the communication.
Well, so we can have a look to the website, All of One Project.
All One Project, yes.
And I think that Juan put it in the chat of Zoom, but we can put also in the YouTube text on at the bottom of the video. Je voulais vous remercier vraiment tout le monde pour votre participation, parce qu'on sent qu'il y a une présence attentive dans la salle, vraiment avec le cœur. Mitam qui a voulu présenter notre conférencière, et surtout Paloma pour ce voyage incroyable. Je voulais vous faire quelques petites annonces concernant les livres qui sont à l'entrée. Vous pouvez donc consulter le livre, donc nous avons aujourd'hui dialogué avec Luigina Mortari. Il y a le livre, Luigina Mortari et Federica Valbusa, et ils ont édité un ouvrage collectif auquel j'ai moi-même participé, Il sentire che noi siamo, théories sulla vita affettiva, où la vie affective est mise en relation avec plusieurs domaines comme l'éducation, comme la littérature. Donc, c'est un ouvrage vraiment qui vient juste de paraître en Italie, aux éditions Carocci. Il y a un autre ouvrage aussi, Restoring Mediterranean Worlds, New Narratives from Italian Cultures to Global Citizenship. C'est un ouvrage sur des études méditerranéennes que nous avons édité avec Clément Bargnodi. Ça vient de paraître aux États-Unis, aux éditions Bloomsbury. Et une partie de ce livre est consacrée à l'éco-critique, à l'approche de notre lieu, de l'habiter aussi, du sens de l'habiter. et aussi en particulier en relation entre littérature et écologie. Et ensuite, vous avez 2 autres ouvrages. Donc, Florilège des écrivains en herbe que Marie Gola a eu la gentillesse de nous amener aujourd'hui, c'est les productions littéraires des élèves et des étudiants de notre académie de Montpellier, mais aussi du monde entier, des étudiants francophones. Il est donc offert par le rectorat de Montpellier, par la mission littérature. Et vous pouvez donc prendre les exemplaires qui sont offerts, qui sont là, et vous allez découvrir des magnifiques textes des élèves, notamment sur l'interculturalité, sur la pandémie, sur le confinement et aussi sur le harcèlement à l'école. C'est des textes d'une grande maturité que les lycéens et les collégiens ont écrits. Donc, c'est une très, très belle surprise. Je l'ai lu cet été, je vous le conseille vraiment. Et dernier ouvrage, Christophe Bargnodi et La fruitière, c'est-à-dire l'auteur des photos qui sont dans la galerie, dans le couloir, disons, dans le jardin d'hiver de Saint-Charles. Cette exposition restera en place jusqu'au 12 décembre. Et c'est un peu les images des mini-camps, des camps, c'est-à-dire des colonies de vacances proposées par La fruitière depuis 30 ans. Des enfants qui viennent des villes surtout. Il y a aussi des enfants de quartiers défavorisés qui sont acceptés, justement accueillis par La fruitière, même parfois des migrants. Donc, ces enfants sont accueillis par La fruitière, cette colonie, cette association qui est dans le Champsaur. Donc,